Hi everybody, I'm Galen with Quilt Beginnings, and we have joining us today Kelly Williams. She is with Horn, and she is going to be telling us a lot of really wonderful things. We've got a horn blowout going on today, and it's today only. So we encourage you to come on in, take a look at all that we have to offer, and we've got some really great pricing, great options. And if you can't come in, I understand it's a Monday, and sometimes it's just tough. Feel free to give us a call, ask for any of our sales folks, and they'll be happy to talk you through whatever you need. With that, I'm going to pass the baton.
Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. So we're going to start over here on the 9100. This is my absolute favorite table here. This table is a lift table. So the functions here are that you can actually lift from 29 inches all the way up to 40 inches using the lift. It's one of my favorite features because you can adjust it then, so if you are wanting to cut out a project, you're able to cut out a project at that higher height that feels more comfortable, you're not leaning over. But then also it will stow with the quiet lift underneath, it will stow your sewing machine. So by lifting your cover here, you're able to press this red button and your machine will lift into place. It was lifted up at the top level, so you can either stow it by putting the Whisper Quiet lift all the way down, or you can lift it all the way up so that it is flush with the top of the table. So anytime you are switching from sewing to saying cut out, or you needed to lay out your project in any way, you have that functionality with this table plus the height adjustability. So I do a lot of embroidery where I'm standing. It's just more comfortable for me so that I'm able to run and grab thread or get any work on another project at another table or another cabinet, depending on what I'm working on. And so what I love about this table is it works with me. It's got this one actually has your extension here on the front. So this is an add-on feature right here, this extension that can actually be removed. The way it's extended is through the drawer. So if you're not going to use the extension, you're able to use this as a drawer. And when I'm up here embroidering, I've got all of my supplies that I need. I've got my snips, I've got oil to oil my machine. All of that is stowed in this drawer right here. Easy to access. I'll throw my rotary cutter in there. So when I put a cutting mat on this and I'm using it, I'm able to grab that rotary cutter so I can start working on my project. You also have a 6-inch opening on this side that allows you to put your 6-inch ruler in. Also, you could stow some small embroidery stabilizers in there as well. So lots of functionality with this table. The side and the back leaves will also drop. So we have a magic corner here. So typically with any type of table that you're extending the sides, you will have an opening in this back corner. But we have added this magic corner so that you can actually have full functionality of the table with the width and the length and not have this extra space in the corner.
And the cool thing about this is this makes it so it fits through any standard corridor in almost every home and through almost any standard doorway. The only times we've ever had a challenge is when it's some of the really old houses with really narrow doorways.
Yep.
Other than that, this makes it so it's easy to get into the home. And then once it's in the room it needs to go into, you can make it nice and large for your next quilting project. And putting it together with that magic square is so easy. It literally is just like this. Couple of pins right here on the side, couple of pins there up top, pull a draw, and there you go. It's ready to go.
And it's on casters, so you're able to move it around the room. You can also lock those casters. And then in the back of the table, there's actually a place for the pins of either the magic corner or the extender to stow in the back for easy functionality there in storage. So this is your 9100. Again, it's height adjustable, and you have 3 settings that you can adjust that height and save the settings. So if there's a certain height that you like to cut your project out, so you can save that because it has memory function saving there. So this is the 9100. Now I'm going to move us over here to, this is our 9080. This is another really great table. Again, you've got an extender here that's extended, and we have it fully extended on the back for the full visibility to the space you would have before you would drop the leaf. So this actually has the drop leaf in the back to make this a little bit narrower to go through a door. And then you also have this leaf in the front that is extended through the drawer. So on this cabinet here, if you want to come around here to the front, you actually have 3 drawers over here, and then the 3 shelves and a slider here for all of your embroidery hoops. So the drawers over there, as well as this storage here for your hoops are all adjustable. So you can adjust it to the height that you need for your supplies.
And then these are soft close doors. So
soft close drawers. And this has the same Whisper Quiet lift feature that we just reviewed on the 990 or the 9100.
All horn cabinets also come with a 6-strip power outlet. So you just have to plug it into your wall, and then you can plug things like your sewing machine or lights or things like that into that strip very conveniently.
Yes. So this also has the extension on this table as well, which we didn't have up initially, and the cabinet on the front where it would close it up completely. So say you have a cabinet, say in a guest room, and you don't want to have it out exposed. You want to keep the machine safe with it lowered and not have a lot of dust if you're not using it. You're able to close the front and it will keep it safe and protected in there, especially if you're going to use it a multi-function room. So over here we have our entry-level cabinet here. This is the 4200. So a lot of really great features here on this. You're trading out a drawer storage as well as just getting some of the shelving on this side. And one thing I want to mention on the tables we've just talked about. So the first table we talked about was a 31-inch opening. So that's going to allow you to do your larger top-of-the-line machines for across the board from the brands, 31-inch opening. This one has a 34-inch opening, the 9080. So any of the 90 series have a 34-inch opening to give you a lot more space for those larger sewing embroidery combo machines. The 4200 has a 25-inch opening here. So this would be for if it's just a straight sewing machine. It's probably not going to allow you to have any type of embroidery unit extended, obviously, to go and collapse down for the lift feature. But again, all of our lift openings, you can get an insert. And that is across the board as far as any brand of sewing machine. Yes, we have that displayed right here. Any brand of sewing machine, we can cut an acrylic insert for you. So once that is in, it gives you a full flatbed here across the table. So your machine actually is dropped slightly so that it is completely flush across the table. So say you're doing quilting and you need a lot of space for that quilt so it's not falling on the floor. This is a really great option with this acrylic insert to give you that space and have a full area to work with.
So if you'll help me, let's show the extension how while it's compact, it can also have a lot of space.
There we go.
So I'm going to open one of those just to demonstrate, but this gives you some extra depth at your convenience. It also has a door to close things up if you want at your convenience. That'll close up through the front. We do know from experience cats can get underneath there, unfortunately, but hey. And then there's also a caddy that is sold separately but is very versatile.
Yes, and these two pair really well together. This gives you a ton of storage for all of your supplies and all of your tools. This is the Horn 40 cabinet, and it is this, when collapsed with the 4200, is the same width. So it appears as multi-cabinet, but it appears as one larger cabinet. This will also extend in the back.
And we often have people buy 2 of those so that they can have them placed in different places in their sewing room. And they have versatility because they're all on casters. They can move it into a larger, if you have 2 of those set side by side, you've got a nice super long area, or you can have them placed out of the way so you're just a very small area. It's completely up to you, which really gives you a lot of versatility.
For sure. And so next we're going to move over here and we're going to talk about the 8280. Once again, it's got the same Whisper Quiet lift. You have the extension on this side, so you can lift this up. You've got smooth corners on the edges, so that means you're not going to catch fabric on any of the corners. This drawer system underneath is actually a separate cabinet. So this cabinet can actually be moved out of the way to leave that opening there, or this will stash right underneath there and give you all of that drawer storage. This is a purchase separately. This is a 51 horn cabinet. So again, you have a little bit larger on the 8280, you have a little bit larger workspace. This has the 31-inch opening here. So similar to the lift table, you've got the extension on the side as well as on the back of this. That will make it a little bit wider, but still allow you to go through standard doors. And again, the lift that we've talked about, the Whisper Quiet lift, this has the acrylic insert on it where it's shown right now. So this is also just a fantastic, a little bit larger than the 4200 cabinet, and it's giving you that larger opening.
So since we haven't demonstrated it yet, let's show them how the actually Whisper Quiet works. If you'll take the acrylic off, and the acrylic is custom to your sewing machine. We're just using this as one of our classroom machines as a sample. So it goes down, and once it's down in, then we can just use the cover plate she's got in her hand right now, And now you instantly have a work surface that you can immediately start cutting or piecing or putting things together without a sewing machine. As soon as you're done with that, you can take that off. We'll go ahead and reverse the process. Just a little quick little push up with your fingers. And then you say, right! And it's a very strong motor. So even with some of the largest machines, it goes up. You can barely hear it. So it's really cool.
So if this machine that has an embroidery unit, you want this to go all the way to the top. So you can attach your embroidery unit. Or you can, if you wanted to do some flatbed sewing, just you wanted to do some quilting just on your sewing machine, and you needed a larger workspace, then you can use the acrylic insert and make it a completely extended flatbed.
So the other nice thing is this is solidly connected to the cabinetry, so it's extremely firm and solid. If you're going to do embroidery, these horn cabinets are extremely sturdy.
Yes.
So you can have a lot of confidence. What you're going to do is have very minimal vibration, so that makes it excellent to work with.
Fantastic, yes. And they are made in the USA. I think that's another really great thing to point out. Horn is made in the USA. About 4 hours, we're in Columbus right now area. It is about 4 hours from here is where these cabinets are made. They come fully assembled. And as far as the acrylic inserts go, the acrylic inserts can be made for any machine across the board. If you have a 30-year-old machine, they have the insert template that they're able to cut as well. So there is no limitation that you have to have a brand new machine. You can have an existing machine at home and want to invest in your sewing space. And so the last cabinet we're going to talk about is actually a cutting table here. This is the 7600, and I love this cutting table. Love it. First of all, you have smooth corners here. This is our horn cutting mat that also fits perfectly on here. Fantastic cutting mat. You've got the 7 drawers here. So talk about a ton of storage. You also have the thread mount here, which has pins that you can put in for all of your thread that this comes out. So you want to put your embroidery thread here and then go and take it over to your machine. So you have a great place to store it and then a place to put it back when you're done. And again, you've got all of this storage down here. You've got storage on the side here. You could throw some rolls of embroidery in here. Same with the other side, you have drawer storage, and it's all adjustable. So you have the pins that you can adjust the shelving to what works best for you. This is on casters. And then if you come to the back here, you can see that there's also shelving on the back. So if you want to stow some of your fabric, your containers of more embroidery thread, it's a great place to store extra items in the back here.
Nice thing a lot of people don't realize is that shelf actually can come out, and then the size of this cabinet, if you look here, there's a seam right here. So this will come down just like you've seen the others. So you actually only have to have that depth in your sewing room. So if you have a limited amount of space, this can be something you can use all the time. And then if you need to pull it out for a greater surface area, it gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yep. This is a really great addition to your sewing room if you're looking for a cutting table. It also has the cabinetry door closing in the front where you can just easily stash all of your stuff away so nobody's getting into it, and it looks just a nice cabinet that's...
Kiddos know not to play there, right?
Yes, exactly. The last thing we're going to talk about is our brand newly released So Cozy chair. Galen, can I get you to sit down on this and I'll show you all of the adjustability of this?
Sure.
So this chair actually we have in 2 different versions. We have a drafting chair and then we have this standard size chair. And what's so great is this is also made in the USA, which is fantastic. And it has a great cushion, great support. It comes in 4 colors. So it comes in gray, eggplant, which is a deep purple color, navy, and khaki. And both versions come in those colors. And you have so much adjustability. So I'm gonna have you turn to the side here. Do we have enough space? And so I'm gonna tell you all of these different adjustments here. So first of all, let's find the lumbar support. So you've got the ability to move this up and down to where it feels the most comfortable for you. Right there, right? So now we can lift it forward and back. So if you want to lean back to where it feels the most comfortable as far as pressure goes, great. Then we have the chair lift. So if you want to go higher or lower, that's the second, this one right here.
Yep.
Oh, that will take you up and down.
I'm taller, so that's better.
Yes, perfect. And then you have the seat tilt. So the next one you push down and it will allow the pitch of the seat to either go down or up. So with whatever feels comfortable with you.
Probably right about there.
Right there. And then this last adjustability is just some firmness. It's just a slight tweak. You can twist back and forth on the seat firmness toward the center of the seat. And then if you turn all the way around, we have this is the slide. And what's so great about this is it will slide forward and back. So if you want the seat to be I'll have you hold it there for me. See, it'll slide back closer to the back, or you can slide it up toward the front.
So
It's
these
like,
are the way these are going to be beneficial for you when you have it slid so it's tighter and you have less space. When you're sitting at your sewing table, I'm going to do it this way. You can see it pushes me more forward and it's going to be more supportive to my back.
Right.
So when I'm sewing in this particular environment, this is going to be nice and supportive. Whereas if you're doing something where you're going to be more active in other things and not just like this, giving that extra space on the seat gives you more flexibility and more comfort level.
Yeah, I like to think of it as it's a slide forward to better support right behind your legs to give you that leg support you need, so your legs don't feel like they're not supported. But the drafting chair, I know we have a lot of people that are using it on their long arm. So if you have any long arm users that want a seat that is that height adjustable, or on your a seat that would be accommodating for the 7600 sewing cabinet or the 9100, it's a really great adjustability to allow you to use that taller chair. So those would be all of the Horn products. This is a fantastic selection that you have here at Quilt Beginnings, and they're running some really great specials today. So I really encourage you to come in and check out all of the Horn cabinetry.
Come on in or give us a call, 614-799-2688. I'm Galen with Quilt Beginnings. This is Kelly with
Williams.
Horn. Thank you.
Thank you.